Is the Eb-3 visa still worth it for nurses in 2025? What does Trump administration have to do with the retrogression and things that are happening currently in the Eb-3 visa pile? Is it still worth it for you to apply right now for the Eb-3 visa for nurses? Stay tuned to find out in this video. Hey guys, my name is Success. I'm a registered nurse based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I make content around nursing and lifestyle in the US. If this is something you're interested in, please do well to subscribe so you can always see my videos when new ones pop up. And do well to leave a comment with questions just to help engage, and I will be in the comment section answering all your questions. So basically, the Eb-3 visa, if this is your first time of hearing about it, is a visa that nurses have been using to come to the United States as far back as the 2000s, basically. It is a skilled worker visa where an employer in the United States identifies a shortage. For example, nursing, there's literally nursing shortage, and they have to apply for a labor certificate from the government stating that, hey, we are not able to get our citizens to do this job as much. We need more laborers from outside the country. And then they're able to recruit nurses internationally from everywhere to come and work in the United States. So instead of getting the work visa, which is a H-1B visa, they give nurses Eb-3 visa, which is a direct pathway to permanent residence and green card. And after 5 years, you can get your citizenship. It's one of the best ways for migration because you don't go through any hardship when it comes to sorting out your papers. You know, people go through different ways to be able to get citizenship, residence, but you're coming in as a skilled worker with a job. It's amazing. Basically, for the past 4 years now, nurses have been experiencing lots of backlog with the retrogression, meaning that the time frame given for this Eb-3 visa is dated backward. There's delay. So basically right now their priority date is 2 years ago. So meaning if you apply now, you're looking at the next 2 to 3 years before you even be called for an interview and before you be issued your visa. Ordinarily, this would have taken a few months to a year if everything is on time. But we all know what happened in 2020 with the lockdown of even the embassies for almost 10 months. And that kind of pushed everything backward, coupled with the other backlog that they have. So that made it worse. And also in 2020, Trump also put a halt to immigration visa for about few months before Biden came in and took off the halt on immigration visa. Now he's back to the office. What do we expect?
We believe jobs must be offered to American workers first. Does that make sense? Right now, widespread abuse in our immigration system is allowing American workers of all backgrounds to be replaced by workers brought in from other countries to fill the same job for sometimes less pay. This will stop.
So far, Trump policy and one of his greatest stand that he's been making is his fight against illegal migration. Eb-3 visa is a very legal migration, so you have nothing to worry about that. He's fighting against those that cross the border illegally and are staying in the United States illegally, which is something I also do not support, and I don't think anyone supports that, especially when the illegal migrants are causing 80% of the crime in the United States. We advocate for legal migration, which there are several pathways open for this legal migration, which Eb-3 visa is one of them. So based off his policy and how he wants to preserve the jobs for citizens in the United States and what he did in 2020, there are some predictions on what is going to happen to this Eb-3 visa. And it is nothing that you do not know about. There is already delay. One, the delay might be worsened because it might just get slower due to the fact that they might want to scrutinize each application 1,000 times more than they already are. Number two, they might require the jobs in the United States to prove that they cannot find anyone to fill that position that they require an international nurse for. Like, the requirements to get certified for the labor certification might be worse, right? It might get worse from what it is already. Number three, the visa processing time might be slower and they might require more documentation than they used to. Now, this is not to tell you not to go ahead with, getting your credentials evaluated, getting your NCLEX done. If the United States is still your dream and still your goal, my advice to you would still be continue on the pathway, because these are all speculations. He hasn't put a ban on the visa yet. He hasn't said anything concerning it yet. His fight is just against illegal migrants. We are just saying that might trickle down on this very beautiful way of migration based off the already sustained backlog that they're experiencing. Like I said, please continue with your processing and make sure you have everything up to date with your documentation. Also, when you think about something and you have the goal to do something, try as much as possible to start when you can, because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. This is for people that kept saying, "Oh, I'll do it next year, I'll do it next year, I'll do it next year," even when they had the resources to start 5 years ago. But that's, by the way, just something to think about next time when you plan to do something and you have the resources and you've gotten the go ahead from God. Make sure you start that thing, because you don't know what will happen tomorrow, basically. I mentioned that I was going to suggest some solutions to this problem and delay facing with the Eb-3 visa and his administration. Like I said, he's not against legal migration, he's not against career advancement, he's not against all those things, but he is trying to fight the number of migration to the United States, because the United States seems to be at the top choice for the world for anybody that wants to migrate. We think he's trying to reduce that number of people that are currently migrating every year. Other kinds of visa that you can apply for, which I know many of you have been reaching out to me for, is the F1 visa, which is a student visa. Coming to school in the United States is not just because you're trying to migrate. One of the reasons why most people choose to come and study here is because of the high level of education offered in the United States and the career advancements that there is for nurses. As we all know, if you do your master's here, you can become a nurse practitioner, or if you do your doctorate, you can also become a nurse practitioner. But in Nigeria, there is no such profession as nurse practitioner. So if you want to practice to the top of your skill, and if you want to be a thought leader in your profession, and if you want to be able to give others in your profession and get to the top of your profession, the United States will actually feed on that passion that you have and will take it to the next level. I'm using Nigeria as a scapegoat here because that is where I'm from. I don't know how it is in your various countries if you're watching this video, but I'm just trying to tell you how interesting career advancement is in the United States. I think I need to make a video on the several options for career advancement in the United States. Let me know if you want to see such video like that in the comment section. The job opportunities, the career growth, what you can become. That would be a very interesting topic to talk about, just to let you know the potentials that you can achieve with actually migrating here. Coming with the F1 visa allows you to be able to get that certification needed, and then after that you can also get an employer that will sponsor you to the Eb-3 visa or even the H-1B visa. Also, I mentioned that I was going to talk about 2 visas that you can actually apply on your own. In my last video, I explained them briefly, but in this video, I'm going to be explaining them more and in more detail. So I'm going to be giving a case study of a nurse who can apply for the Eb-1 visa and a case study of a nurse who can apply for the Eb-2 visa. So I think I'm going to end this video here and make it into a two-part video. The second video will be about the EB1 and EB2 visa, and I will also explain a case study on the type of nurses that can self-sponsor and apply for this. Click right on the next link that you're seeing on the screen to be able to watch that video. Thank you. Bye.